What is up, watch people? My little brief intro before the intro. I didn't have my microphone on. I don't have it on now. So today I am wearing my 124060 Rolex no date sub. Awesome watch. Got Paco over here, who's being Paco. Hi, Paco. I know. I know. Anyway, so today we're going to be answering a question from one of my viewers, and I appreciate you guys. So let's roll the intro and let's go. Okay, so I'm answering a question based off of my previous video about ADs. The hell's that? Damn, I need to be prepared when I do these things. I'm not going to read the question verbatim because I didn't print it out and I don't, whatever. So the sort of synopsis of the question was, one of my viewers, Doug, said that a friend of his went into the AD just last night, just to get his son's vintage Rolex sized. He was talking to the AD about various different Rolexes, and they told him a 1 to 2 year waiting list. You didn't specify which watches he was talking about, so there's going to be, I'm just going to give you a sort of a general sort of answer on this. But anyway, there were 1 to 2 year waiting list. 3 weeks to the day, he got a call from the AD offering him a Sea Dweller. His friend didn't have the money for the Sea Dweller and then contacted Doug, who asked this question, if he wanted it. But since he has a no date sub, awesome, good watch, good choice. He offered it to him instead. So the question was, is the market changing? So, okay, is the market changing? Yeah, I tend to think a little bit, yes, in a sense of the fact that right now the economy is so unstable, and these ADs in general, they're not getting any less watches than they had been getting. Everything was really based off of supply and demand, and it still is. It's really just supply and demand. It just so happens that Rolex are still getting the ADs are still getting the same amount of watches they were getting. I hope this thing's working. Dude, I hate that one. Anyway, the Rolex ADs are getting the same amount of watches that they were getting prior to everything. You know what I mean? So there's no shortage of Rolex. It's just that the demand for them has gotten so much greater, So therefore, the ADs are kind of holding off on, okay. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like just all of a sudden got scattered, but there's a YouTuber, an Irish guy. Not going to mention his name, Nico, but he has the attitude that, well, I've got $10,000 and I've got $10,000. Why? My $10,000 should be just as good as this person's $10,000. Fuck it. That's why he hates Rolex. This person shouldn't get priority over this person. Well, yeah, you know what? Guess what? If the supply is less than what the demand is, and you're a rep, some guy comes in and he's an asshole and says, hey, I want this fucking watch. You give it to me. I have $10,000 right here. Then another guy comes in and says, hey, I'm really, really interested in getting this particular watch, and I love it, and gives you a great story. Who are you going to sell it to, right? So in my opinion on this, your friend was probably very cool with this AD. Now, the AD could have been testing him, in a sense, saying, well, let's offer him the Sea Dweller. The Sea Dweller was the 126600, which is a 43 millimeter, so it's bigger. It has a 32-35 movement. I think that's the same as the sub date. So it is a big, chunky watch, you know what I mean? So they may have just had it and they're offering it to him to see if he wants it. and he could have taken the bait and bought it and then flipped it. Not the best way to do things, right? It's not good to flip. So him turning it down was probably a good idea, because maybe they're kind of going, well, wait, he turned this down. Let's get him the watch he wants. I know with my AD1, he had offered me a Sea Dweller, the same actual reference number. And I said, no, give it to someone who really wants it, because, it's too big for me. I'm not into 43 millimeter, chunky ass watches. It was like a week later when I got my sub. So in this case, your friend said he doesn't have the money, which kind of sucks, because if a sub comes in or whatever he was looking for comes in and he doesn't have the money, then it sucks for him. But as far as the market changing, yeah, you've got the economy. I mean, anyone who has like a portfolio, 401k plan, something of that nature, we're just getting nailed right now, man. I could bought 3 Daytonas on the gray market for the amount of money I've lost. I mean, I'm totally like, that's why I'm holding off. I'm not buying anything right now. So in this case, yeah, the market is slightly changing, because right now it is a buyer's market. People are holding off on spending money, including myself. I'm not spending any money because right now everything's so uncertain. But so in that case, it eliminates a certain amount of people. Some people that the economy is not affecting them. They have the money and they're still going after the Rolex, all those models. So in this case, a lot of people are also pulling back and saying, I'm not going to spend any money. So therefore, there's the same amount of watches, but less people coming into, so what's happening is the AD is saying, hey, we got your watch. And they're like going, I'm going to hold off. And they go, okay, we'll give it to the next guy. So your friend may have been in that position where, no, there was no Rolex, and then 3 weeks later, someone else turned it down. So they said, hey, let's call this guy, because he came in and had that watch, serviced or whatever it is. Anyway, I hope I'm making sense. I don't know how I got all scattered in this one. But in that sense, do I think it's changing? Yeah, I think things are starting to mellow out. Well, things right now are kind of going down, but in a sense, things are kind of just chilling out a little bit. So right now is a good time to go in and talk to your AD, and talk about the watches you want, because you'd be surprised at how quick you can get some of these things. Now, I think some of these watches are still very difficult to get, but at the same time, right now it's a buyer's market. So that's, I think, pretty much, I hope I answered the question all right and everything. But all right, you guys, I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the viewership. I appreciate all you guys who like and subscribe and interact, and I try to interact as much as I can too, which is pretty much with most of you guys, so it's all good. So all right, you take care. All right, we'll talk soon.